Ladies and gents, Supes and Civvies, rip up the history books. Because in New York this morning, Godolphin University All-Star A-Train was just drafted into La Cate.
Not delivering this breaking news update on VSN 7, the Cate. Also, there's a draft now? Then why did Starlight do an audition in season 1 of The Boys? I guess there's more than one way for a Supe to accidentally skin an innocent bystander, but this feels like the universe decided people with powers will be treated more like athletes now just because the show is collegiate in nature. Aw, so this is news position and flashbacks position's love child. Look at little news flash position. Marie can't control her powers and is driven by instinct to turn her blood into a spear and go straight for her mom's jugular. I know backstory's gotta be tragic and all, but this is a bunch of conveniently timed weird bullshit. Do you think you may have forgotten to correctly punctuate your sentence with a question mark? The kids here have access to a basketball court and basketballs, yet not a single one of them has disappeared all this trash via fire, acid, or teleportation to clear the way for a few games of horse. Stealing the blood manipulation power from Chardon in the Black Cat manga. Hold on, who wrote this? Damn it, Courtney, I told you to stop putting references to obscure anime and manga in my scripts. Nobody gets the jokes. And by nobody, I mean me. I don't get the jokes. Episode completely ignores the revelation that this camera seems to exist in universe. Gen V thinks it's being cheeky by bringing back a soup porn we already saw back in season 2 of The Boys. But it just has Easter egg on its face because watching porn without headphones is always a sin. It doesn't matter if you're at a Wendy's or the library. People get really upset.
Most kids around here with a history like yours, they don't get adopted. So they get sent to the Vought Adult Facility in Elmira.
Vought locking people up for no good reason doesn't surprise me, but why would being adopted change Vaught's desire to lock someone up? Doesn't seem like the kind of corporation that believes love conquers all. This university has a Deus Ex complex. Arriving at the dorms on your first day of college and everybody's cool, young, and fun and has their whole lives ahead of them while being in the hallway. Cliché.
I'm Maverick, your RA.
Episode does not contain an Iceman.
That's my gerbil, David Crusoe. And it's about to go down.
Fist fighting your gerbil. And fist fighting your gerbil sounding much more like a euphemism than I intended.
I have been dying to meet you.
Not obtaining consent for this hug. Some Supes don't like being touched, and others have creepy powers that manipulate you into doing their bidding. Just saying, ask if they're a hugger first. It's like society suddenly gave up on tennis, so they turned this court into an overpriced Thunder Beach muscle dome. Also, the speedster can practice wind sprints not on a track. This feels very much like the wrong tool for the job, and I'm worried we won't get an explanation for why God U has spared so much expense with its facilities.
I'd burn my tongue on that.
My inner monologue every time I take pizza rolls out of the microwave somehow makes it into the episode.
I am not sweating the Incredible Steve or anyone that has the in their name.
Being willing to sweat someone with Steve in their name. Ha! Take that, the Steve who stole my pudding cup in 3rd grade. I get the last laugh. I am the one who knocks. This is a cool scene and all, but these flames don't appear to be doing anything fire is famous for doing. Do Golden Boy's punches hurt more because he's hot?
See what I mean? It's like a big fiery sea cucumber.
Lusting after any cucumbers that will likely give you a burning sensation.
Wait, are you Amish? Is Black Amish a thing?
Making a person of color field your ignorant question instead of utilizing the internet, or Godolphin forbid, even the library. Sullen Soup, sitting suavely, serendipitously sees some soldiers suddenly scamper.
Please, please.
I'm with Sam on this one. Would someone please explain this bird?
So crazy. We didn't film it.
With what cell phone exactly? Does Emma also have the power to completely forget conversations of the previous day?
You're a little cricket. You are so funny.
Being ashamed when people recognize you for your work. I once got a free Baja Blast at Taco Bell and all I had to do was sign a picture of George Clooney. I rode that one high for the rest of the afternoon.
Marie, only 5 kids a year, so we're a city contract. The rest of us sing and dance and sell merch for Vought.
When you put it that way, a university sounds completely unnecessary. You can accomplish the same thing with Indeed for Supes.
I can't fight bad guys from the size of a pickle, so yeah.
Rick Sanchez just entered the chat and reprogrammed it into a Jason-born AI capable of destabilizing the Canadian government.
But you, my boy, are going to the 7. No draft, no nothing.
I know I sent the draft earlier for suddenly being a thing, but I didn't expect the show to give up on its own concept halfway through the first episode.
I mean, that's how socializing works, right?
Assuming people know how socializing works and that they don't pass the time at parties hanging out in the corner playing with the dog.
Oh my god! You're gonna have a 3-way. You're literally living my dream.
Show misses the opportunity to make the 7-way a thing.
I'm gonna be jerking off about this the whole night, so if you don't go, just be prepared for that experience.
Threatening someone with a Louis C.K.
Play nice, or I will not share my drugs with you.
Dude, if being nice is a requirement to get drugs, most people who use drugs would never have drugs.
Come on, we'll take my car.
Choosing to squeeze 5 people in a Porsche and not a single one of them having known shrinking powers. The most far-fetched, unbelievably ridiculous thing this show has ever done is suggest that people leave negative comments. All I ever see are things like, "You're so smart. Your jokes are pure gold. We love you and all of your sex tapes." Okay, fine. Look, humans are gonna human and all, but shrug the haters and pursue excellence on your own terms and with the guidance of the people you actually trust. You got this. I promise. Well, at least that's what I keep telling myself. Is this just convenient for maximum drama, or is Liam's superpower knowing exactly when somebody is emotionally vulnerable so he can be a real piece of shit?
I can't believe I'm at 7 Tower.
The paper-thin security at this building may be the biggest sin in the boys' verse.
My brother passed away, too.
I'm sorry. That's why I'm here.
Phrasing your response in a way that inadvertently suggests that his dead brother is why you are here. However, Luke's brother Sam trying to escape is the reason Marie and Andre met, so I guess technically his brother is the reason that she is here and with him at this very moment, but he's not actually dead, so Marie's statement is still incorrect. Boom, lawyered.
Can I give you some advice? Being a hero is, it's not what you think. You know, if you're gonna do this, make sure you do it for you.
After that groundbreakingly vague wisdom, we cut to the next scene as if Marie didn't ask him to elaborate.
Did you, get little?
Thinking you have a kink, when really you're just an asshole who's trying to compensate for more than just not being able to read the room.
You know, I could take my glove off and make you. I won't, because I'm all about consent. But I could.
Says the person who just used their power of persuasion a moment ago to gain entry into this club. I don't think a Supes hypocrisy needs to lack so much subtlety that it feels like we're being manipulated into believing they could say this with a straight face. We won't show it because, well, we can't. But the episode takes Emma and Liam from a gut-wrenching scene concerning self-esteem, body image, and emotional manipulation to one of the more bizarre explorations of Einstein's special theory of relativity, which I'm guessing says something like, the same laws of physics hold true in all inertial reference frames, and the size of your love sausage is the same for all observers, even those moving with respect to one another.
I mean, you're like his favorite son/daughter.
Saying son/daughter instead of just child. Favorite child. See how much easier that rolls off the tongue? 1 syllable versus 4. Gotta work smarter, not harder, golden boy. Why did you make the little bird sharp enough to slice someone's throat? Surely you had enough finite control over the bird to change how sharp and deadly it is, right?
I can't tell you how sorry I am to tell you this, but you're being expelled.
Why are you telling her this at all? You're just a professor who teaches a class she's currently not even being allowed to take.
Look, you saved that woman, but you kind of slit her throat accidentally first, and that's grounds for removal.
The confidence with which he thinks they can cover this up despite all the eyewitnesses and cameras present is pretty wild. And we're just supposed to buy it because of villainy?
Luke, it's not a dream. It's real.
This is either a hallucination, a vision, or some kind of telepathic projection, but it is neither a dream nor real.
You killed them.
She's not wrong, but she came around the corner and her first guess was that her sister killed her parents. There was the option to ask a few more questions first. This seems like it'll be a recurring thing, so I'm just going to address this now. The palm of your hand is one of the worst places you can cut to get blood. You don't get much, and you risk damaging so many nerves and tendons in the process. Find somewhere else to get blood. Making a mess that some underpaid janitor will have to clean. Come on, Marie, the custodians didn't get you expelled.
You don't understand what Brink did, okay? You don't know about the woods.
And instead of telling her about the woods, suspense will be maintained through the burn first, answer questions later approach.
He fell asleep with a camel lit in his mouth. He burned himself.
I'm pretty sure it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for that cover-up story to make any sense.
You put your away.
Where would you like him to put it? It's not retractable. Wait, is it?
Not until you chill out.
You see, it's funny because he's on fire. Okay. Damn, this show's juvenile humor. I'm taking your dick-punching sin back before I need to pretend to be an adult again.
I wouldn't pour this on my if it cured cancer.
Show randomly has Andre considered cancer, just to give him a ridiculous hill to die on. From cancer. Wait, is self-destruct a superpower? Because I find it strange that Naked in a Blaze had the ability to do this. His body had to be impervious to flames and heat to completely cover himself and not be burnt, right? So what exactly did he do to ignite this explosion? The only other precedent we have for this kind of thing is the grenade up Translucent's butt, and that just adds an even bigger level of what the f*** is going on right now.
Here's a look at what students can expect from this esteemed institution in this upcoming semester.
Spoilers? You've ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Because my opinion and nothing else matters, I'm dinging that we have a retooled somber song juxtaposed over a scene of absolute carnage cliche. Especially sinful when Stranger Things already did it better without losing the metal vibes and with an objectively superior Metallica song. Yes, objectively. I heard what I said.
I'm with the trustees, we're all in sync.
I don't know, seems like a weird time to tell Ashley that your trustees consist of a 90s boy band, Dean and Dira.
Oh, a bi-gender Asian with pronoun f***ery. Great f***ing idea, Kyle. Try selling that to Dallas and Fort Lauderdale.
This not being an exaggeration.
You're sweet, but this is my fault.
It is not. And being a self-loathing grief hoarder is not the endearing trait that TV shows seem to think it is. It's annoying. Stop it.
It's the first day tomorrow.
Hey, I don't care how crazy the Boysiverse is. If someone kills a f***ing teacher and then proceeds to scatter themselves across the school courtyard via fireball, I think classes are going to be pushed back a day or, an entire semester.
My friend, Marie Moreau, so what's up?
Who are you?
Oh, come on, man. I'm live here.
Well, that's on you, dude. There's zero reason for this video to be live. Just film what you can and deepfake the rest later like a real influencer, you clout-mongering fame goblin. This is a ridiculous place to put your skateboard. You'd have to move the guitar whenever you want to get to it or awkwardly pivot it behind the guitar to, is that a second skateboard leaning on the TV stand? Okay, which f***ing nerd left the equation for calculating an aircraft's lift as their memorial note? Leave the clever word stuff to me. That shit just won't fly around here.
And swing that bat as hard as you can into your nuts. Every hour on the hour. And every time you swing, yell Jumanji.
I do not appreciate my friend's very specific kink being presented as a punishment in this scene. Also, are students just allowed to abuse their powers however they want with impunity? This guy, who may well deserve it, is going to be dealing with an absolutely mashed testicular region for the foreseeable future, and that's just okay with the faculty? These are f***ing teenagers at college. Can you imagine how quickly the pranks would escalate?
You f***ing own Twitter right now.
The unwelcome memo Elon Musk received on October 27th, 2022 somehow makes it into the episode. Also, I look forward to a time when my great-grandkids watch this show for the retro vibes and ask me what the heck a Twitter is. I'll enjoy explaining how it eventually became X, which eventually became Xflixbook, which then became Warner Book Discovery Red Twit Paraprime Plus, before finally being called X again.
I had to rescue Matchbox 20 from that nut job at Lollapalooza before my first national interview.
Was the headline of your interview Moron Prevents Matchbox 20 concert from being canceled?
You're like Pretty Woman without the ass f***ing for money.
I don't remember that scene in Pretty Woman. And believe me, I've looked. If this photo shoot is for publicity, shouldn't they be showing off their superpowers? The only thing I'm getting from these shots is that they're young, attractive, and possibly smelling something strange.
Because Luke whispered something to me before he died. He said, your dad has it.
Well, why don't you start by searching your dad's clothes, car, or office? I'm sure Luke meant your dad has it literally, right? I mean, who'd use their dying words to share a cryptic clue instead of the literal thing they want to share? Wouldn't that just be the dumbest f***ing thing?
I just don't understand how the most sane person that I have ever met.
Confidently ranking the people in your life by level of sanity.
Please bring the funk, not the junk.
Sadly, your career in Hollywood will expose you to a plethora of junk, so there is no need to provide your own. As these two argue outside the School of Crime Fighting building about something I nearly skipped, I was instantly reminded of how inane it is that the school only has two departments, crime fighting or performing arts. Marie's already saved a life with her powers, so why not a school of medicine? Hell, considering how often people explode in this universe, why not a school of sanitation?
But now that they're both gone, I go back to not existing.
You're ranked number 5. You're in the top 10. That's still a big deal, right? The people down in the 50s and 100s would love to have a word about your definition of not existing, but they're too busy being ignored.
You know what to do. You always did.
He did not. He exploded. Unless a rather convincing impression of a supernova was step 2 of Luke's brilliant plan. This is what I imagine Jack Black has to do to make acting with Kevin Hart seem palatable by comparison.
You all act like you're made of steel, but you're not. No one is.
I mean, other than Ironcast, right? Who is literally made out of steel and is someone she should know about.
Bob?
I'm Greg.
They're all wearing the same f***ing uniform with no name badges, so why did she even try to get it right? I get that he's got a great beard to show off, but he really should still have a mask on unless he wants spinal fluid in and around his mouth. And why would you? It's too salty. Don't ask me how I know. See, this is why passive-aggressive signage doesn't work. All the kids clearly assumed peeking was forbidden, but offensive graffiti was A-okay.
Where is all Luke's stuff?
They cleared it out.
Who?
If I know.
So your contribution to this conversation was to simply state the f***ing obvious then?
It smells like bleach in here.
Why would they do that?
Why wouldn't they do that? Has she never seen a show in the Boysiverse before? Bleach should be used on everything all the time. People should just walk into a room and assume it's had a body explode in it, an elongated erupt on it, or vomit weaved into every carpet fiber. Hell, I bleach my laptop after every video.
Why would you do that?
Why even include this line? Do you expect the audience to go, oh, at least she meant well when she revealed him as deep secret for internet views?
Luke's desk drawer was full of dildos. They're all gone too.
So some security guard is not gonna shit straight for a week.
Assuming the anal tolerance of an unnamed security guard you've never met.
Security cameras melted.
Expecting me to believe that any institution even vaguely VOD adjacent wouldn't immediately be replacing damaged security cameras the second they went down.
Your dad has it. I think he hid something in here.
I alluded to this earlier, but now I'm going to really go off. Luke's brother's life is at stake here, and Luke has a vital clue in exposing what's happening to him. But instead of saying, I hid evidence in the region of your dad's statue, he goes with the your dad has it vague nonsense. Now, maybe that makes sense if he knew he was being recorded or the message might be intercepted, but he whispered it into Andre's fucking ear. No one else was hearing that shit. And if you have to make it code, make it a code that you know he can crack. It is a total fluke that Andre figured this out at all. Also, how the f did Luke even get the phone inside the statue? Yes, he has the ability to melt metal, but unless he's a master smelter, that's going to leave behind some kind of unwelcome welding welt on Polarity's package.
That is really Freudian.
Cate would be my psychiatrist at TVSins.
Underneath that scumbag candy shell, there's a fucking hero.
Is that the thesis statement of this entire show? Fill it with unlikable characters that we'll eventually get a taste for. But am I going to wait for that scumbag shell to melt before casting judgment? That's the real... No, I'm not.
Actually, Haley, someone else was there too. Jordan Lee.
I'm not saying that the makeup people are definitely the kind of people to use this information against Marie, but I am saying that she shouldn't be such a big blabbermouth in a public space. Also, what? They're not going to do her nails too? Sudden motivational best bud viscera that should have absolutely been eaten by a carrion bird by now is sudden and motivational. Also, this right here is exactly why we need the aforementioned School of Sanitation. For some reason, the super secret and highly incriminating The Woods folder is just hanging out here in the main menu instead of in a hidden folder, or at the very least, in this folder marked private. Also, if you have private shit in your computer, don't mark it private. Who the f is that label for? It's not for your benefit because you know exactly what it is. The only thing labeling a private folder private is doing is advertising where your highly specific stash of She-Ra porn is kept to a nosy roommate or family member, for instance. Also, how is this computer organizing the folders? In each category, it makes no sense. It's not in alphabetical order or last opened. It's also not numerically ordered by location ID, file count, or storage. Initially, I thought Magtino's powers were manipulating metal and such, but based on the shenanigans with this finger scanner, he can, what, rewire and reprogram software and hardware too? How does that f***ing work? Wouldn't he also need some knowledge of hacking? Or is his true superpower literally hand-waving? Rather than magnetic manipulation, I'm willing to bet it's the superpower of creative editing, which allows Andre to not get caught here. Nobody who securities for a living sees this, and Andre can't know that would be the case, but decides to risk it anyway. Also, while we're on the topic of lax security, Andre sure is lucky that there isn't a single camera in and around Brink's office, isn't he?
Don't bother with that shit. Just files in the computer.
The entirety of Luke's room was cleaned and bleached, but for some reason they just hadn't got around to wiping Brink's office yet. The same Brink's office that has this super incriminating laptop of easily accessible private files.
Jordan Lee was the real hero.
I mean, that day they were, but they certainly weren't a hero the day before when they encouraged everyone to leave that dying lady that Andre dejugulated. No one here is a hero. Aww, skip. I appreciate the self-harm parallels at play here, but it is super hard to concentrate through this entire bowl of vomit that was suddenly and non-consensually burned into my eyeball. Okay, I got this. Onto my eyeball. Onto my retina. Burned onto my retina.
Come here.
Aw, what a lovely moment. So glad Marie has someone to look out for her. I'm certain this is a genuine moment of connection and... Oh, I see that stare. What subtlety and nuance. You almost had me there, you rascals.
What's going on? Can I help you?
Look, from a story standpoint, this janitor side helps show that these dudes are bad dudes and they're not to be f***ed with. But from a common sense standpoint, this is dumb as hell. How is the janitor not on the payroll? How lazy is that? And how are you going to spin Ron's brutal death to his family, Vought? Oh yeah, sorry about Ron. There was an insane workplace accident with a really sharp mop that slit his throat execution style. This whole outfit is amateur hour. And who's going to clean up the blood? Not the fucking janitor, that's who.
Hey, Greg will clean up later. Let's go.
Ah, yes, Greg the guard. Just when I thought smack my own balls and scream Jumanji was going to be the most unnecessary callback in the episode.
Did you know Supes have a wider range of hearing than us?
How convenient. Has that been established before, or is it just in this show? Now, before you quote episode and verse at me, keep in mind that I don't really care, and I'm not going to believe you. How the hell did Cate know where Andre was? She was supposed to be in bed, and even Andre didn't know where he was going and only ended up there because the guards conveniently showed up when he was going through Brink's laptop.
I'm fine. I'm totally...
Oh hey, you know what would really ratchet up the tension here? A cliffhanging seizure from an unlikable character. And even if I did like her, cliffhangers lose some of their gravity when you drop the first 3 episodes all at once and all I have to do is press skip credits to get a resolution. Bring back weekly appointment TV, you cowards! I miss Lost. This reference is a sign that the Boysverse is approaching the inflection point where, if you haven't watched the other series, your understanding of what's going on will begin to drop off precipitously. Not allowing braziers, but still allowing man's ears. You're going to have Frank Costanzas and Cosmo Kramer sneaking impossible weapons, all thanks to this sexist loophole. We won't show it, but Mr. Love Sausage reenacts the iconic car scene from Titanic because 80% of this show's mystique comes from whipping its thing out for shock value. In case you confuse this with the present, which in this case is a valid concern, but only because we're bouncing through time for the sole purpose of keeping continuity with a completely different show. These brave assholes standing here with their toy guns drawn, waiting to be eviscerated like they've never watched The Boys.
Go to sleep.
Jesus, are you okay? So, was that a dream? Episode thinks that I'm not going to question if what I just watched was an accurate account of what happened, just so the show can use the sleepy time defrag of her memory disk as a plot device to allow for group inception therapy later this season. And I will not have it.
We need to get him out now.
How?
We can use our fucking powers.
Andre would be Captain overstating the obvious at Supes.
Okay, and you cut yourself. Are you gonna take a break? Get help?
That's different. That's my power.
Thank you.
Alright, the way the power of each character in this series is intertwined with their specific character arc and emotional journey is impressive and sets this show apart from the subversion of archetypal comic book characters that we usually get from The Boys. I'll applaud the show here with its well-deserved send-off for expanding the Boysverse and diving into some very serious topics while creating a unique experience that shares the same bloodlust and regular lust.
I was thinking a red and blue ribbon.
Okay, red and blue are for congenital heart defects and Noonan syndrome.
As well as several other causes. So if they can play nice and share their awareness ribbon, I see no reason why yours can't too. Nor do I see any reason why we're spending any time on this.
Because it's better ratings if you cry on camera.
Making me feel like the asshole for crying in my pillow fort.
Unsanitary blood powers that, mark my words, are a lawsuit waiting to happen.
He's probably not wrong. The least believable part of this show is that with the lawyering and PR bullshit going on at Vought, Polarity is the only one with any legal concerns.
You're gonna butter the ass of every trustee with your tongue.
And what do you do when you learn some of the trustees don't use butter, cheese, jelly, or any of these because they prefer Vaseline? What then? Are we freeing the Homelander or are we freeing the snacks? Come on, guys, pick a lane.
Honey!
Mameu sex drama kana.
Wait, this is nicer than Sylvia Green's bar mitzvah invite, and she had BTS sing Have a Nagila.
Thinking the quality of a production can be inferred based on the amount that was spent on marketing.
You look an inch or two shorter than usual, so you might need to add 50 calories.
Height watchers?
I saw that skinny bitch's YouTube on you.
That's a strange way to say you watch TVSins.
Shades of gray don't sell like black and white, do they?
They do if you bundle 50 of them together. I'm beginning to think Jordan is not even using this skateboard.
Just a second.
Episode has Jordan dual-wielding their voices, raising all sorts of questions about whether this is possible with their powers. Questions this season has no intention of answering. Also, hypothetically, if Jordan were to change forms mid-mambo, what would happen? Would it be like a sausage inside of a bratwurst situation? And how does Godolphin University not have a whole school dedicated to defining the very nuanced window of what sex could even be considered safe at this school?
Surprise!
Showing up at your child's dorm unannounced. Are you trying to smell things you can't unsmell?
Brought you some Whataburger, Deep's calamari poppers.
Teasing a burger only to reveal calamari. Also making me think about the time that Deep popped his calamari inside an octopus. And yes, calamari is squid. But the point is he f***ed a cephalopod and I haven't been able to get that out of my mind. Deepest, bluest, his hand is like a shark's fin?
She's even more perfectly imperfect in person.
The old exploitation of authenticity cliche, which sadly is the most authentic of the cliches.
This is Courtney Fortney.
Courtney, Bo Bortney, Banana, Fana, Fo Fortney, Fee, Fi, Mo Mortney, Courtney.
Brink always said those aren't the numbers that matter.
He's not here anymore.
Reminding me that you killed off Lex Luthor in the pilot.
Pretty dress. Thanks. How do you pee in it?
The same way you pee in the shower. So technically peeing out of it is the real issue.
I don't know if I can pee like this. Just let it happen.
This show melts my heart and then makes me laugh until I fart, all in a span of 3 seconds. And damn it, I should be able to watch a show in public without the risk of death by embarrassment.
If everyone's gonna be worshiping Brink and shitting all over Luke, then I at least want to get some Grey Goose out of it.
Cate picked a weird time to break into her rendition of The Aristocrats.
Not an easy drive, FYI.
Even this imagined comic book world refuses to give us an America that prioritizes efficient and reliable public transportation.
I'm just the kid addicted to their PlayStation. Goes to Olive Garden just for the breadsticks, who binges Property Brothers. I've never changed, Dad.
You had me till Property Brothers. Sometimes change is okay.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm just still stoned.
Sweet Jesus.
Due to their relative sizes, Andre's voice should be all big and booming, and Emma's should be all comically high-pitched and chipmunky. Their voices are not obeying the laws of cartoon physics at all. I also suspend my disbelief for a lot in a show about college students with superpowers, but I draw the line at assuming Andre has cell reception at the bottom of the concrete stairwell. That is all of the bullshit. The best tool for the job is obviously a fire poker, so there's some intrigue surrounding the life of this drumstick. And we never get the origin story outlining its rise to fame, struggle with substance abuse, and eventual reunion tour with its formerly estranged bandmates.
But in darkness, stars can truly shine.
I think physicists would argue stars shine regardless of the level of light around them. Perception of a star's brightness isn't the same as a star's physical ability to shine. Don't you lead a university?
Vodka, the expensive you save for the big swinging dicks.
Assuming the bartender personally measures every man's endowment when they order a drink. And that Love Sausage likes vodka.
Brink didn't just hone my skills. He sharpened my mind. He turned me into the curious, intelligent man I am today.
If Brink is directly responsible for the Deep's level of intelligence, I think my opinion on his mentoring abilities just plummeted.
What's the name of my all-time favorite movie?
It's Waterworld. And I'll now add us in for obvious reasons, even though my opinion of the movie is more favorable than most. But I'm not going down that rabbit hole of an argument ever again. You can't make me. Moving on.
I didn't know I had powers until my first period. I couldn't control the blood, and it sliced through my mom's body.
Making Stephen King kick himself for not using this as the opening line to Carrie.
I killed my grandpa with my powers. No, you didn't. Yeah, I know. I was just feeling left out.
This missed opportunity to metaphor about transgendering a grandfather to death. Get it? Because he's old and scared of a world where he doesn't have a firm grasp on my genitals.
All everyone ever remembers is that he drinks his own pee, but it is about so much more than that.
Title of my... No! Nope. Not this time, assholes.
You're pretty.
The mission to break Sam out of this facility has turned into a meet cute. The only thing left to do is skip.
I know you're here.
F***ing how? After all the damage we've seen Sam do, it's unbelievable that this guard came in here alone. Hasn't he found out enough times through anecdotes that he could just bypass the whole f*** around part? Emma manages to crawl straight through this guy's head on the first try, when I get lost just trying to make it to the bathroom in the middle of the night and inevitably slam my balls into a doorknob. Is there something about the gravity in this room that makes everyone fall in the same direction?
This is the grossest thing possible!
Saying this when you're part of the same franchise where a man shrunk down and went inside another man's then sneezed and popped back up to normal size, exploding through the in the entire lower half of the second man. Not saying she should know this, but use your imagination. The writers certainly are. Amazon continuing to think we need to see Golden Boy's suicide over and over because I assure you we do not.
What the hell happened?
I mean, maybe Sam penetrated the ear canal with his member?
I guess this proves my point that every fucking male character in the boys universe thinks her leads with their dick.
Sam's stronger than Golden Boy ever was. I don't know how to contain someone like that.
That's painfully obvious.
Yeah, except they had Sam contained for a while, and even after he got out, they got him back in and contained him for even longer. So I'm guessing you, at the very least, have some strong theories, Doc. Also, if it's nearly impossible to contain someone like Sam, then why send the soldiers to an almost certain death? Why not make the entire hall an electric floor, like they have set up in the prisoners' quarters? Or, I don't know, have fucking guards that are also Supes. Why would any normal humans even sign up for this detail? It's like choosing to be a cop in Haddonfield, Illinois or Crystal Lake, New Jersey.
Because if Vought finds out about this, Doctor, I can promise you and I get skull next.
Scene does not contain skull f***ing.
What were you thinking?
I had to do something.
Yeah, but you didn't do anything.
Marie would be excellent at TVSins.
But you guys are gonna get a green van and a talking dog and f***ing solve it?
Not to be that guy, but the mystery machine wasn't just green. It was also blue. Come on, Jordan. I know your sex and gender are fluid, but colors aren't. Try to get those right.
Are you okay? Did I squash you?
Sam can see Emma clearly, and why would he think there's even a possibility she is currently squashed?
You have a piece of eardrum on your shoulder.
Is somehow only the 987th weirdest thing said on this series through its first 4 episodes. Also, Emma definitely has eardrum or some other ear/brain matter all over her shirt, so why just point out the shoulder, Sam? How is that helpful?
Okay, you think there's a phone in here somewhere?
There might be, but I doubt it works. Businesses that shut down don't typically keep paying the phone bill, Emma.
Godolphin University, a place where only the bravest heroes graduate. Queen Maeve, the Deep, A-Train, and of course myself.
Vanity. Also, using the Deep as an example to make your point about the bravest heroes. I don't care how much of a talk show circuit guy he is.
Strange how many of your subjects end up dead or beaten into comas.
I mean, I guess it's kind of strange, but at this point in the game, I don't know why anyone, especially a fucking dean at a Supes university, would ever be shocked at how many people in this universe end up dead or beaten into comas.
I'm gonna Johnny Depp someone so hard they're gonna want to crawl into a hole and die.
I will probably never be comfortable with using or hearing the phrase, I'm gonna Johnny Depp someone.
You know, when I was a kid, all I wanted was to be like him. And this whole time, he was mixed up in all this.
Child who worshipped their parent finds out said parent is actually not a very good person. Cliché.
Rufus, right?
Jeez, first the boys brings in Dean Winchester, now Jack is in Gen V. Anyone else you want to smuggle in from Team Free Will? Is Castiel walking around somewhere at God U?
Or there are other ways you can thank me.
Right. This was a mistake.
Hey, come on, I'm f***ing with you.
He's not, and Marie has been shown to be smart enough to know this, but the script needs her to be a little too trusting in this instance just so we can see a penis explode. And who am I to complain? Oh wait, I'm exactly the person that would complain.
Can you really find her?
Yeah, I just need something that belongs to her.
Okay, but what are the rules for ownership? If Marie's sister left behind a beloved teddy bear and Marie sold it to a pawn shop, could it still be used to find her? Because technically the pawn shop owns it now, right? So would Rufus here be able to find the pawn shop owner by using that teddy bear? Psychics just introduce too many questions.
It's not what it looks like.
Choosing this response when someone wakes up dazed to find you with your dick hanging out. Oh, hey, yeah, it's me again. Can Dr. Brinkman schedule me for a session today? Yeah, no, not the boys this time. Gen V. Perfect, I'll see you at 3, thanks. Dirtying up Jordan's washcloth when Marie has the ability to will all the blood off her face.
I would kill to be number 2 again. I would kill you to be number 2 again.
Doesn't seem like the smartest thing to say out loud with Tech Night on campus, but you do you, Jordan.
Since when do you care about anyone not named Jordan?
Looking a gift horse in the mouth and questioning said gift horse's reasoning for saving you from being sexually assaulted by f***ing Rufus. Also, I know Rufus is a dick, but is anyone gonna call an ambulance to help out with his, well, dude is bleeding out in his dorm room.
Tag Team Cocksplosion.
Title of my sex tape?
To understand Golden Boy's carnage.
These interviews Tech Night on for all the some time.
You're one of the most powerful heroes on campus.
Is she, though? The mind control thing is a sweet power, no doubt, and it's all but useless against a long-range fighter or someone too quick to grab.
It worked. You're, big you.
After eating super old candy from a closed-down drive-in, she won't need to purge herself. That candy will take care of it in probably less than 30 minutes.
I mean, my superpower is puking.
Your superpower isn't puking. Anyone can do that. Trust me, I do it every time I watch someone's penis inflate and explode.
So please welcome a son of God you,
Am I the only one who heard the words Son of God and expected Jesus himself to pop up and give a lecture? Like, the sad thing is, I wouldn't put something crazy like that past the boys in season 4 or 5. Jesus shows up, Billy kills him somehow, there's lots of blood, camera zooms in, he says, diabolical. Then I assume Jesus wakes up 3 days later and smites all of New Zealand. Great episode.
And that's how you break a witness, folks.
Except witnesses don't typically need to be broken. They're already providing you with information willingly. You break suspects. Don't you watch Night Court Tech?
Digging for the truth is a rush. Ah, it's better than sex.
It is not.
Just leave me alone, television's Jason Ritter!
Being bullied by television's Jason Ritter. Ah yes, the well-known alternative to the superpower of flight. Leaping. Always cool.
You think anyone will know it was me?
Well, given that it's daylight, your face isn't hidden, and there are probably a million security cameras on this campus, I'm gonna guess they will.
And now Tech Knight's probably gonna crucify me and I'm gonna get expelled.
Two things that somehow don't happen.
Holy
Cricket blocking. Scene contains skull f***ing.
So how do we think your 18 to 49 demo will fare when we broadcast you despoiling every single hole you come across?
Are we sure Tech cares if anyone finds out about his boinking habits? He was f***ing that car in a full parking lot during the day.
Give me a few minutes alone, please.
A tree? Dude, why do you hate your dick? Andre survives this. Eating spaghetti with your hands. Wearing pearls to bed. Such a poor use for jewelry. Who are you trying to impress? Your sleep paralysis demon? Forget the brain tumor. You f*** one of those things, you're gonna get at least 50 fatal STDs.
That's the sum total of your searing insight that Sam's skull Bob here.
This is Greg. Dr. Cardosa being excellent at this previously on Who School TVSins. I guess if you pay to CG a explosion, it makes sense to get some mileage out of it and give everyone a refresher before we move on to the next episode. But can I at least get a disclaimer warning against the attempted consumption of round and elongated foods? Continuing to lay underneath the mystery fluid for way longer than anyone should be comfortable with. So I have some unanswered questions about Cate's powers. Do they only work through her hands? Because there's a lot of skin-to-skin contact right now, and she's wearing her gloves as if it's possible to accidentally give someone a deadly command in her sleep. And is it weird that a completely different franchise came up with a solution for this problem almost 36 years ago? Not knocking on the door when you know that a knocking of the boots variety very well might be taking place on the other side. Jordan doesn't answer Marie's question. And it's not that the smirk isn't cute, it's that Marie still needs information that this smile doesn't provide. Like whether or not Jordan remembers anything and if that anything happens to fall within the confines of consent. She survives this. Now, while I don't know if the science exists to confirm whether or not you can die by orgasm, you can die from dehydration, and this woman has expelled a lot of fluid. Also, are there any real advantages to having a blowhole aside from being good at snorkeling? This certainly makes her unique, but does it make her a soup? The severe case of prune body parts that Emma surely has from falling asleep in a pool is certainly a sin.
As far as I know, of legal age.
As far as I know of legal age. Has the big spoon here shapeshifted into this couch? I've not been given nearly enough information to understand the geometry of this cuddle.
There are days that I am missing.
Been there, my friend. Between binging Lost and binging Game of Thrones and then binging Succession to forget how awful the other two endings were, I lost like 2 weeks. It was rough. Also, wanting us to believe that Cate isn't smart enough to know that one night of partying can't explain why all of her friends don't remember multiple days from the past week.
Oh my god, guys, come check this out.
Better come take a look at this cliche. Emma getting bigger from heavy drinking makes sense calorically, but it complicates her metaphor and makes it seem like getting hammered is an emotional win with no downsides.
I mean, you're trending. We're flashing my giant white ass to the world.
I don't know, Emma. Sounds like an average night at Mardi Gras for me. I mean, to me. It sounds like an average night at Mardi Gras to me. Yeah.
I've known ever since the Buster Beaver incident. Google at your own peril.
Teasing the beaver in a way that ultimately leaves us unsatisfied.
I was so happy to smell your throw up.
Not helping us understand how Sam's powers help him identify a specific person's puke.
Maybe you saw us on TV or TikTok or something.
The most likely scenario would be that you met him last night but forgot about it with everything else. It's weird that Marie goes straight for I'm famous now, so that must be it.
TikTok?
Show makes me jealous that Sam gets to live life without the burden of having to know what TikTok is.
That guy had literal blood under his fingernails and it wasn't his.
Have you even seen this show, Marie? Fake blood would raise way more questions.
Wait, when am I gonna get my period again? Holy Emma. What? I lost track. You're insane. I mean, next Friday, though.
Better be careful there, Marie, lest you get a weird nickname like Flo.
Yeah, I still got a like a hairless caterpillar.
Caterpillars don't have dicks, silly.
Rufus was here last night.
Okay, but that was just like a day or two ago, right? You're going to tell me a dude with his dick blown off is already up and walking again? Superpowers or no, consider my suspension of disbelief shattered.
I'm tired of babysitting psychopaths.
Babysitting psychopaths is literally your job.
I don't think it is, especially since you later describe his job as cutting up soups and seeing how they tick. At most, babysitting is an ancillary task.
Cutting up soups and seeing how they tick is a skill that won't quite shine on your LinkedIn profile.
Overestimating the morality of everyone on LinkedIn. Or just the morality of LinkedIn in general. Recruiters will see that and immediately think, I can pimp this guy out as an analyst.
So what you're saying is that Rufus has to piss sitting down forever?
He doesn't have to. He can stand up and just make a huge mess. And if you've seen a public restroom, you know that this wouldn't even amount to a 10% increase in the amount of urine on the floor.
He said he liked my gloves. And then 3 days later, I woke up at a random bed with a camera pointed at me.
Rufus would be a PR nightmare. So much so I find it hard to believe that Vought didn't have Homelander himself come here and laser this asshole. And just to be clear, I'm not using come here and laser this asshole in a hair removal sense.
He's gonna kill Rufus.
He doesn't kill Rufus.
No, girl, you were litty last night!
Reminding me I'm too old and set in my ways to know what litty means, and I'm too stubborn to Google it. Get off my lawn, Gen V.
You got that big soup energy!
It's not the size of the soup that matters, it's the motion in your stock pot.
You don't need to say or do anything.
There is one thing I need to do, and that's skip. Sign looks like it's missing the ABAB start. If I had trouble believing Rufus could walk after having his blown off, I'm definitely not buying that he can sprint. This isn't bullshit. $12?
Go, go, go!
This elite unit of puppets was conveniently able to track Sam to this remote storm drain, but not any of the other much more public places he's been to today.
I heard you ripped a guy's throat out.
Waiting till right now to share this information. Okay, this is hilariously creative and an unexpected way to put a fresh spin on a scene that would have otherwise been just another bloodbath in a franchise known for bathing in blood. Take us in back, you crazy puppet masters.
What the is that?
Nobody considers for a moment that the girl who can apparently sense blood to the point that she can accurately predict menstruation a week ahead of time would find the GPS tracker hidden in her blood?
For all you know, she's cool with hiding the sausage and bumping donuts.
But how do they feel about butter and garlic knots? Okay, I don't know what any of this means. I'm just hungry, and with this show, it's impossible to know when it's safe to eat.
Like, sometimes I hide in the women's showers and watch girls jerk off, and sometimes I hide in the men's.
Maverick puts the jerk in jerk off and doesn't get his invisible arm broken for it.
Someone made me forget you.
It's not your fault.
Thanks, Sam, but at no point was she claiming to be the responsible party.
She made Luke forget me too.
You already know that Cate is behind the memory wipe, so it's very odd that Sam decides to make Emma play the pronoun game.
Show's not the same without Luke's hot takes.
Maybe I can help.
Someone's been mutilating nuns over at St. Patrick's again.
Well, maybe that's none of your business.
His commentary was hilarious.
Aw, thanks, Cate.
I'm pretty yipped on 2CB right now, but that sounds right.
Drugs that remind me of algebraic equations. No one's looking to do math when they're trying to get high, or yipped. Damn it, stop making up words, you hooligans.
Jordan, it's not him. It's Cate.
It wasn't him this time, but he's still guilty. If police catch a murderer, he doesn't get out of trouble because someone else did a more recent murder. After we see Cate give Andre back all his memories, he says, "You're a fucking monster," instead of flashbacks position. Also, trying to take the moral high ground when you're the one that slit open a woman's throat and tried to leave her to die earlier in the season. 1 minute and 6 seconds of previously ons.
Remember everything I made you forget.
Fortunately for all involved, Cate can reverse all the memory wiping she's done. Does that mean the memories are still in there but buried? Or does Cate have them all and she's putting them back in? Either way, I think it's clear I care more about knowing than the show cares about telling.
She makes you fall in love with her, and then she you over.
No, this school you over.
False dichotomies. Both things can be true, Marie. Now, why am I not surprised that a school called God U is lacking some critical thinking classes?
She pushes too much. It with her head.
It's at this point I'm reminded Cate has the same powers as the main character in Firestarter. And now I'm just mad because Hollywood has up that story not once, but twice. So here are 3 cents for reminding me of that.
Did you learn CPR?
Where?
At superhero school? Jesus!
Marie would be excellent at TVSins.
Is there any risk of us getting sick?
Well, if there is, this is a shitty time to find out. You didn't want to ask this before stepping into the splash zone?
No, none at all. The virus only affects Supes.
Being whatever kind of doctor this is, and not understanding how mutation works.
A way to compassionately control Supes.
I don't want to underestimate the human ability to justify whatever the we want, but the fact that the good doctor is standing next to a woman hacking up several internal organs in a secret lab that non-consensually experiments on teenagers somewhat stretches my ability to believe he truly thinks compassionate is an appropriate adjective here. Also, isn't it kind of insane that Vought doesn't already have something like this in the tank? Shouldn't step one of creating AI, I mean super beings that are superior to us in every way, be to make sure one has the means to stop AI? I mean super beings that are superior to us in every way?
My report to Vought will be ready to submit today.
Based on one subject? Okay, I'm not expecting a full peer review process from the off-book science lab, but I think it's in your interest to do a little more testing before telling Vought this is a way to neutralize Homelander before they find out the hard way that, well, it doesn't.
Holy shit, where'd she go?
None of you dumb f***s tied up her hands or at least covered them up? After what you've just been through? F*** it, hand me a Vought-burger, I'm switching teams. Quick, hide behind this tree and bush, but only a little bit and maybe not even at all. Wouldn't want to mess up the blocking on this shot.
Holy shit. This is a memory. We're in Cate's head.
Then why is the episode called Jumanji? Jumanji wasn't a dream. Jumanji was an alternate reality or a pocket dimension or something. F***ing Gen Vers can't even tell their Jumanjis from their inceptions. Also, Cate woke up, grabbed Marie, and then bam, they all entered a dream world? Why did she only have to touch Marie? Do Cate's powers suddenly have range? When did that happen? Come on, show, give me something here. I mean, this guy was in the f***ing kitchen for crying out loud.
Hey, do you like dogs? We've got a canine unit over here to let you pet one.
Why? Do some of the dogs have brothers that need losing?
I'm Kate's imaginary friend from when she was a kid.
Show steals my current imaginary friend.
She'd crank up the Jonas Brothers. She'd hump a soldier boy pillow. She'd raw dog that pillow till she saw God.
Gross.
Really, Marie? Please, tell me more about why enjoying a solo Waffle House session is gross.
Boys, they come and go.
Choosing come and go instead of Buc-ee's or Wawa.
What the hell are you talking about?
Turns out you were radicalized by the Russians.
It also turns out that this version of Soldier Boy is imaginary. Why is conversation?
You really want to live? Then the single most important thing I can tell you.
It's interesting that Kate's brain is going through some sort of aneurysm, but still appears to be prioritizing a sense of dramatic timing. Also, if everything in here is Kate's brain, then that means Soldier Boy is part of her brain, which means that she actually wants to help them until another part of her brain kills it because it doesn't want to help them. But then how is anything holding together? And this is why nobody actually understands Inception, Christopher.
Soldier Boy's dead.
If that's what happens to her imaginary friend, what happens to us?
Does imaginary mean something different to these people? They do realize you can't kill an imaginary friend, right? That's like one of the perks.
Should we?
I mean, like sex?
No, you shouldn't. He's traumatized and you've just regained several days of lost memories and you should be mid-unraveling a conspiracy to torture students. But sure, boner's gonna boner, I guess. I don't know where these blankets came from, but I wouldn't be letting any fabrics from an abandoned arcade come into contact with my bare anythings. Also, I know this place has been shut down, but hey, quit wondering. Go back to... Yeah. But wouldn't you clear out the toys and sell them? And where's the power coming? Hey, I said stop wandering. Anyway, where's the power coming from? Who's paying the utility bill? Damn it, Cindy, quit it. We have a job to do and we have enough problems getting these videos past the advertisers as it is. Okay, since Cindy can't contain themselves, let's just skip. This fictional sex scene has already lasted longer than some of my real life. Whoa, nice try, script writers. I'm not about to admit that my all-time duration record's under 4 minutes. Wait, this isn't still recording, right? Like, we paused, right?
A function defines the connection between two variables.
Math.
You don't have to wear the gloves if you don't want to.
Again, with it only being her hands. Beginning to think whoever is designing the specifics of Kate's powers has gone completely rogue. Swallowing a pill without water. Forget the mind shit. That's what makes Cate a monster.
I haven't been to class in years.
Who are you and why should I care?
Oh, we really should do this.
If this is pulled from a mix of Andre and Kate's memories, why aren't we seeing it from their perspective? Look, I know the brain's a powerful thing, but I think it's odd that Kate's dying mind is going through the effort of so much professional editing.
Are you fucking serious?
No, it looked like he was fucking Cate.
Out of my way!
Oh, so that's why you're here. Cannon fodder. Red shirt. Demonstration of the villain's will and ability to kill. Person that could have been dispatched 10 minutes ago so these things have a chance to matter.
Breathe. Deep breath.
That looked relatively easy. If you could just gas Luke and shut him down in seconds, why wasn't that an option in the pilot?
If Luke's getting cutting-edge treatments, I want him to.
Didn't think Gen V was going to go Sabretooth Jordan, but even I can be surprised, I guess. Anyway, the sin here is reminding me of X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I don't think I can do that 24/7. I mean, maybe 23/7.
Citation needed.
That was my memory. Not Kate's. It's like her shit and our shit are bleeding together.
Yup, bleeding together into a conveniently expositional clip show adding extra context to the events of the last few weeks. Almost as if for the benefit of a third party watching at home on their sofa or something. Well, that's just disgusting. Do you know how many germs these fluffy toilet seat covers carry? They're literal fecal foundries, cozy carriers of contamination, poo pillows, fecal fostering, fur follicles, sofas. I'd insist we burn them all immediately if I didn't think the resulting fumes would cause the next mass extinction.
You tell everyone you lost control, but you didn't. You were angry that they barged in.
Ah, yes. Being angry. A common first step before losing control. It's usually followed by shouting, "You turned her against me!" And then someone else shouts, "You've done that to yourself!" Then an epic duel over lava. What were we talking about again?
I'll never forgive you. And you shouldn't either.
Kids.
The one thing that is really apparent now is that we are all f***ed up.
I mean, that was apparent from the pilot.
You finally have a choice, so wake the f*** up. You don't get to throw this all away.
Which is it? Does she have a choice, or is she unable to throw it all away? Because those are contradictory statements. Holy sh**. So Kitchen Boy is actually dead? Where's the fucking body? I can't wait for his murder to be addressed and the consequences therein to be fully realized.
Is this real?
Yes.
Scene doesn't contain a confirmatory spinning top. Or does it, Christopher?
They were doing other stuff to him too. And other kids.
What other stuff?
Bad stuff.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying, Sam. You're a valuable part of this conversation.
So the virus worked?
No, she's just method acting. You know, really getting into the part of a kidnapped Supe infected with hideous lesions and intense. Of course it f***ing worked, Indira!
Now can you make it contagious?
I hope I speak on behalf of the internet when I say that we are too soon after a global pandemic to be comfortable with anything contagious being a major plot point. No, thank you. Title of my Nope tape. This is how you get ants with COVID. Won't be watching this anymore. Hawkeye sucks. Game of Thrones Season 8 was a disappointment. Any more running gags or am I good to skip?
Remember everything I made you forget.
Episode fails to remember that we haven't forgotten any of this, or at least not enough to warrant the full minute of previously ons. And we're done with the chicken fried rice.
Can't we make it airborne?
Why?
So it's more contagious.
Ever since the last episode, it feels like the writers are trying to lay the groundwork for another spinoff called COVID V, and I assure you, no one is here for it.
If an airborne virus gets into the super-able population, it could spread like wildfire.
The Supes going extinct doesn't so much solve Shetty's problem as much as it ensures that she will then have to deal with a bunch of Batmen.
We're coming to you live today.
And I'm coming to you live with this in for news position. Andre being one of those people who can't just slide into the booth because they have to sit at the end to exert dominance and collect tolls or some shit.
We need Cate. She's the only way to get Shetty to expose the woods.
She is not. You could go after the doctor you stopped Sam from killing that one time.
And then what? Post it on Insta?
Are we supposed to believe this world doesn't have one reputable news outlet? No Boston Globe? And not even a Gen WikiLeaks?
They're just gonna twist it like they twist everything else.
Extolling Vaught's prowess at manipulating the proverbial nipple of truth.
But maybe you didn't do that, because now I'm destroying the evidence.
Coming up with solutions that only work via time inversion. Thanks again, Christopher.
You have so many things.
Doesn't mean you need to go through and touch all of them with your hands that I've seen you punch through bodies multiple times, but haven't seen you wash once.
Her family was on the plane.
Tying Shetty's backstory into the plane Homelander sank is just another great example of how Gen V complements the boys, but it's also a great example of this show relying too much on the boys instead of creating its own narrative identity.
You want me to increase the viral infection rate?
Getting so drunk you perform a monologue of plot details conveniently within earshot of our protagonists. Stealing one of the more questionable plot points of Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice.
You'll want longer.
Title of my text tape.
What you're describing goes beyond neutralizing. It's a war crime.
95% of what your boys have done can be labeled as war crimes, Grace.
A man who works for me, one of your fellow countrymen, although I doubt you travel in the same circles, has the same rage.
It's like Mallory knows these details are irrelevant to Shetty. Still, she's giving them anyway for the benefit of the audience, even though the audience knew she was talking about Butcher around the part where she said, "a man."
You don't want to go down that path.
She's telling you she created a virus to kill all the Supes on the planet. Not only do I think she's already gone down that path, I think she's paved it and started installing streetlights.
Did you get all that?
From a phone muffled under your pants pocket and coat? What they got was the audio equivalent of applesauce. Joe has time for this.
Oh, hi. You look so badass.
The characters in Sam's play are one-dimensional and underdeveloped.
That is f***ing amazing!
Fun? Sure, but amazing? Settle down.
We're superheroes. We can do whatever we want.
And the best you came up with was a cold slip and slide?
Dork.
Episode undersells the darkness of this scene and pretty much any scene with Rufus once you realize that with a reputation like his, the only imaginable way people are hanging out with him is that he is just constantly messing with their heads so they can't remember how much of a dirtbag he is. Other than that, I can't imagine a good reason why anyone would get within 5 feet of this guy. Also, he's way too happy and pain-free after what we saw happen to his Did it grow back? Did he steal one from someone else?
You know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be just like him.
Oh, good. Another character with daddy issues. This universe is maxed out on characters with daddy issues. Can we try some other issues? It's strange how unprepared this society is for all the problems that come with Supes. Polarity is having a seizure, and an apparent side effect is him uncontrollably using his powers. Now, maybe this is the first time they're dealing with something like this, even though I highly doubt it. But they sent this regular-looking ambulance and paramedic crew, which is a Vought company, by the way, to deal with this Supe-based problem. I guess I'm saying that out of necessity, they could and should be better equipped to deal with these kinds of unknowns than paramedics in the real world. It was cool to see this thing get crushed, though.
Do something!
Being a medical professional that should have been trained to do something and yelling this at the person currently doing something.
Hey, Sloan.
Is Sloan the most interesting background character because of how chill everyone is about her presence, or because she's an alpaca that's into BDSM? Debate.
Go cockblock someone else.
You'd think it'd be harder to block the if you can't see it coming at you. None of us wanted to see her put her jaw back. We wanted that to be a permanent consequence of her being a terrible person.
Hey!
We have no idea who this is or why they saw a fight that had nothing to do with them and decided it needed lasers. Holy shit. R.I.P. to the eardrums of anyone watching this episode with headphones. Also, beyond random excitement, I have no idea what any of this is about or why the guy standing behind her in the question line suddenly needed to grab her shoulder.
It's almost time to leave this place.
Don't get my hopes up, Indira. I know we still have another episode to send.
We'll hide out in the green room until it all blows over.
Employing the Shaun of the Dead doctrine.
Your blood, there's compound V in it.
Welcome back to America's favorite game show, Do I Buy That? Where something unbelievable plays on the screen, and I tell you if I buy that. So the ultimate question today is, can Marie sense compound V in the blood of others? Oh, so close, but I'm not buying that. Join us next time when we'll revisit Gendry's run back to the wall and pretty much all of Game of Thrones Season 7.
Why are you telling me this? Because we understand each other.
Citation needed.
I know that you've fought for every f***ing thing you've ever got in your life.
Except for her powers, right?
But the first black woman in the Seven, she has real power. She's friends with the vice president.
This series really knows what it's doing here in showing us the slow and insidious way the world uses temptation to corrupt people who are otherwise well-intentioned. I'm on the edge of my seat watching Marie confront these realities, and it's getting us sent off for making me even more invested in her story.
Two paths, Marie. You have to choose. You can't have both.
Not using the obvious cake metaphor because we live in a time when one can no longer trust what is and isn't cake. Oh, polarity's running at 14 RPMs. Now that Luke's dead, someone else in this group really needs to get a license.
Tell them what you told me.
This school is a front.
Thinking that mind manipulating your villain into expositing their plan to the protagonist somehow gives you a pass. Not on my watch.
You all leave a path of destruction behind you.
Have you ever considered that might be because of the broken psychological conditions created by institutions? Like the one you're currently the head of?
It's time.
Yeah, I thought it was safe to resume the chicken fried rice. This show needs a disclaimer.
Don't help.
One of the problems here with Cate's powers is that she's so general with her speech that her pushes become subjective. Like the word help, in this case, could be interpreted very differently. If by chance Marie was able to believe that Shetty surviving to stand trial for her crimes was a worse punishment than death, then she possibly could have worked around Cate's command and saved her life because her intention was to harm Shetty and not help her.
Do you know what you've done?
Justice.
Damn it, Sam. All it took was one afternoon hanging out with Rufus to turn you into a villain? Ooh, what's happening here? Are we doing a slow reveal as the camera turns? Exciting. And the mystery person is? Not surprising at all.
You and I, we have the same goals, right?
So you're really going to ask this during the shadowy parking garage meetup, Dr. Cardosa, so you can die as one of those shining examples of an intellectual person with absolutely no street smarts? What's even the point of Victoria giving out these blank business cards? Oh, it's to make the nosebleeds more visually dramatic.
Oh,
Yes, this montage is gross, but it actually doesn't contain any fecal matter.
Holy you killed her.
Giving us a babble of internal voices which amount to a second previously on immediately after your actual previously on. There are better ways to pad the runtime, Gen V. I mean, we'll still send you for them, but we'll smile more as we do.
Let's all just calm down and assess the situation.
The situation is bleeding all over the f***ing rug.
I love how excellent at TVSins Emma is.
When I'm done, maybe eventually you'll realize I'm being a hero.
Well, could you be a hero and explain all these lamps? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this shot alone. Oh, and don't think I missed 7 over here, or 8, 9, and 10 over here, or number 11 over here. I feel like I should shut down this channel, move to LA, and open a lamp selling store.
You can beat me. But do you really think you can beat him?
Who the knows? I still don't really understand what's lethal to these people. I've seen Jordan take a laser to the chest. I've seen Sam throw all of these people around like rag dolls with no consequences. I've seen a penis explode and then the owner of said penis walk around like normal the next day. What I do know is that Marie absolutely could take both of them out, but for some reason doesn't.
So what, we just sit here? No, we stop them.
But you just let them go. How does giving them a head start give you a better chance at stopping them? Stop them here and now and you'll save us 30 minutes and a couple of unnecessary cameos.
Our recommendation is physical therapy, figuring out the right anti-seizure medicine, and no more using powers.
And as a TV doctor, I want to offer you no extra words or even hand you off to a nurse because the script said exit stage that-a-way.
I'm sorry.
This scene is several minutes of Andre reconciling with his dad, the passing of the polarity torch, and a whole load of heartfelt apologies. Allow me to sum it all up. Skip.
I'm missing a farm-to-table fest at Ina and Jeffries to be at this board meeting.
I can't figure out who or what is getting at this fest, but the phrasing confused me enough that I completely missed whatever Ashley says next.
IQ surprisingly good.
Using an IQ test for any measurement of intelligence, at least until I can find a better way to break double digits.
Additional skills. British accent.
What clown put this bio together? Why the does faking British accents matter, and why is it apparently taking priority over everything else that Andre might be good at? Music? Sports? Heck, I'd even take origami over a accent that no American has successfully pulled off ever.
Greg?
I'm Bob.
Ah, yes, the running Bob Gregg gag that keeps on giving. Here, let me help it out a bit.
Greg?
I'm Bob.
Unlock the cells.
Okay.
It's kind of dumb that these guards are completely covered, except for their necks. Especially when the school not only knows that Cate exists, but also gave her access to this place while they're working on Luke and Sam.
Who is that?
That was Andy.
I'm suddenly very relieved that Toy Story 5 isn't likely to be an Amazon Prime production.
You are superior to them, and it's time we showed it.
Person with powers claims people with powers are superior to those without powers. Cliché. If it ain't Magneto saying it, I don't want to hear it. And even then, I'm kind of done with hearing Magneto say it too. Also, this person's superpower appears to be moths.
Come on. I'm recording a reaction video.
Reaction videos. And yes, the one you're currently watching is the exception. This extra's I'm shocked and horrified reaction is so good that it arrives before she's seen the thing that she's actually reacting to.
Emma, you clear the Performing Arts Center. Jordan, you sweep the Student Union.
There's a panic button in Shetty's office.
Why did you even bother to come here first? Why not just go and do those things? You knew where Cate and crew were heading and that they had a head start, so what was the goal here? To confirm Bob was dead and that running gag died with him?
Hashtag Hot Jeff Summer.
Rejected slogan for the Amazon Prime swimsuit line somehow makes it into the script. Okay, it's time to dig into this supersonic gadget. We know that Frenchie used supersonic frequencies to distract Homelander at the end of Season 3, But now we've jumped to pocket versions of this tech that this series confirms can neutralize every Supe thanks to them all having super hearing? Every Supe! This tech feels like a bigger deal than a f***ing virus, and yet no one really seems to be talking about it. I'm finding it difficult to be afraid of this person's power when it appears the distance they can teleport could be covered faster by continental drift.
Ever since Translucent died, there's been a gaping empty hole in the 7.
Well, actually, you've had several gaping holes after Translucent. The Nazi Bride, the Fish Pervert, Heart Attack Flash, Gal Gadot, and Bright Spark. Why aren't you as concerned about filling their slots? Yes, you have to admire the sudden apocalyptic set dressing here, complete with, but not limited to, a broken bicycle, a trash can fire, a literal dumpster fire, and an abandoned car, which is, of course, also on fire. It's been mere minutes, but we're already looking like 28 Supes later.
Sam, stop!
Stopping Sam from killing this guy.
What are you thinking?
This scene is several minutes of Emma and Sam arguing about perspective and who's had the shittier life and how them swapping bodily fluids should stop Sam from murdering everyone on campus, and then lots of crying. Allow me to sum it all up. Skip?
What the f?
This reveal that Emma's powers were linked to her emotional state and not specifically to her eating is a freaking amazing twist that deserves to be in a much less mediocre action-baity finale. What? This is a terrible place for a panic button. My fellow desk workers, look upon your knee and think about all the times you've cracked it on a desk. Then think about where on that desk that point of impact is. It's right there. If Shetty is anything like a regular human, this alarm would be accidentally activated hourly, and I have the knee bruises to prove it.
Someone turn on the sonic whistle, we're good.
So the sonic thingy has been rolled out across the entire campus? Again, why aren't we talking about the Supe neutralizing tech? Most of the boys has been figuring out how to bring Supes to justice or find their vulnerability, and here we have a huge f***ing vulnerability that affects all Supes, and it feels like it's no big deal. It's a big f***ing deal, right? Also, if Ashley knows about the sonic Supe denier, then why doesn't she have one? Imagine developing a sonic sound wave that can immobilize Supes, but then not making sure the things that produce the noise are even a little bit Supe resistant. Gen V used a Wilhelm scream. They thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. Fortunately, this Supe had a power Cate could manipulate into taking this chopper down. Look, I'm just saying it's very convenient, and this wouldn't have worked if it was the guy that turns invisible or Moth Boy.
I mean, Guardians Godolkin.
Roll commercials. Not since Liam Neeson jumped a fence have I seen so many rapid cuts to show one simple movement.
That's your real superpower, isn't it? Acting like you're doing something when really you're doing nothing.
My real superpower somehow makes its way into the script.
Kate, whenever either one of us does something on their own, gets screwed up big time. But I know we do some amazing together.
I don't think codependency is the compelling argument you think it is, Andre.
Dude, stop. We love Luke.
Hell yeah. Let's see the guy with super strength face off against the guy with telepathic magnetism. How's the underdog going to use his wit and unique abilities to overcome the brute force of... Oh, they're just going to punch each other until Andre tasers him? Cool. Yeah, I guess that works too. Badass moment and all, but how did Marie make blood knives that were hard enough to penetrate a Supe's body, but soft enough to avoid going through the helicopter and killing everyone inside? Also, did Marie, have to kill him? We've seen her control people's heart rate, so couldn't she just tank his blood pressure and make him pass out? Hell, couldn't she do the same thing to Cate? It'd be no less bullshitty than literally detecting a foreign chemical in their bloodstream. No one has mentioned Cate's other superpower, which is apparently the ability to completely negate peripheral vision and super hearing. She snuck up on people twice in this episode alone. Now, that is the kind of superpower innovation you just don't get from the MCU. You gotta hand it to her. It was quite a disarming performance. Yes, this sin is for me. Just couldn't resist bringing out Homelander, could ya? Well, congrats, because now you've locked in the old where were the Avengers problem that always happens with spinoffs. Every big disaster we'll be asking where are the boys, or the good guys prevail, and we'll ask why didn't Homelander intervene? Or somebody says and we ask why wasn't Butcher here to say that?
Where are we?
You appear to be in an unnecessary cliffhanger, which we'll all forget about until the next batch of previously ons brings us up to speed just in time for it to not matter and be quickly resolved so that the next season can do its own thing. Oh, come on. Homelander wasn't enough. Did you really have to butcher the point too? Now I'll be spending season 4 of The Boys wondering how all this fits in. And heaven forbid you go into the new season having not watched Gen V, because now you'll have no f***ing clue what's happening, or what Butcher is doing at this random school, or why people are worried about some virus. I'm not done yet. I mean, the only thing worse would be if season 4 of The Boys mentions nothing about Gen V, or what Homelander did, or why everyone has a sonic boom boom gadget. I'm still not done. I just don't see how Deadpool bragging about is going to save the MCU, and I'm still shocked at how efficiently Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness completely negates any of the character development we saw in WandaVision. So yes, Butcher, what a bunch of C words. What? Okay, now I'm done.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either.
Are you pitching a consent seminar with your out?
It's out for Harambe.
Who's David Caruso?
You didn't see Jade?
Deep cut? Oh, flame on.
It's like you always say. It's not about the talent.
It's about drive. It's about power.
What's going on?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Is this stuff coming out of you? No more showing your balls to America. Well, what's fun about that?
Oh my god! You're gonna have a three-way. You're literally living my dream.
Dream a better dream.
I used to jerk off to you when I was 14.
Weird flex, but sure.
Are you pitching a consent seminar with your out?
It's in a box.
Something funny, Rufus?
Greetings, my excellent friends. I'm here to help you with your history report.
People come up to me all the time and say, you should be a model, or you look just like a model, or maybe you should try to be a man who models.
Just got a shipment of the dopest dope I've ever smoked. Hands down, dopest dope I've ever smoked.
Shit. That is so fetch. Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Open sesame!
You could say I have a magnetic personality.
There's not going to be any gotchas. We won't mention your sister.
Why did you say that name?
The Prime Minister of Sweden visited Washington today, and my tiny little nipples went to France.
Evan, read the copy, please. The copy's good. Just read it.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
We need to get him out now.
How?
Let's plan a heist.
Heat up? Will they get cold?
To a monster. I'm just the girl. I'm really sorry, Emma.
Look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me. I'm Andre. F*** off.
What color is my underwear?
Man, I don't know.
Tell me! Overseat.
What the f***? Oh, my freaking ears! You and I get skull next.
Giggity googa! It looks like a meteor crashed here.
Meteors did it! That'll be $20.
What were you thinking?
I had to stop her screaming.
And my dad knows.
Knows what?
What if under my shirt it was all nipple?
What do you say you and me get nipple to nipple?
Okay, tiny dude is big now. He's big now.
Tech f***ing night is on campus.
I was just gonna say it. This guy f***s.
I don't like that.
I hate this f***ing dream.
A dream within a dream. 2 levels.
How long have you been snogging Jordan?
I was not snogging!
Is a male asshole tighter than a female asshole? Jesus, Emma.
Then you got your assholes, Chuck. And all the assholes want us to all over everything.
Who gives a f*** what it means?
Hey, I do.
I love Lamp. I love Lamp.
I'm sinking.
Someone's been mutilating nuns over at St. Patrick's again.
No nuns. No nuns, none.
Tommy, how's the peeping?
Is there any risk of us getting sick?
No, that's a stupid question.
I agree with you, Dr. Cardoza, but we mustn't get premature.
Celebrating?
Taught how to jerk off. Diddle that skittle. Flick the bean. How to find that man in the canoe.
I understood that reference.
Pillow talk.
Well, that's just what we call pillow talk, baby.
Then the single most important thing I can tell you.
Oh no, he died!
Help me out of here!
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Holy sh! You found him.
Him, 253. His eyes are on the sparrow.
Okay, that is a normal amount of sex tapes.
Should an avowed superhero reformer be speaking at a college for superheroes?
Now, I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus here, mostly because I don't go that close to public transportation.
Yeah, I remember my first Krabby Patty.
You will not control us!
This isn't about control.
Al Pacino, Attica, Attica, Attica.
I was shitting myself worried.
That's pretty gross. Seems kind of weird.
They'll handle it.
We handle it by not handling it.
Tell them what you told me.
I ate Dionne Warwick. The virus isn't very contagious, thank God.
And it's delicious.
Apparently your brain transplant was not entirely successful. It seems your body is rejecting Jessica's brain.
How am I looking?
You look shitty.
Everything seems to be in order. Everything seems to be in order.
Are you a soup?
No, I'm an adjunct professor marketing.
Nothing can stop the flow!
He's laughing his sick f***ing ass off. He's a tight ass. He's a sadist. He's an absentee landlord.
Okay. Help me.
I'm going to go across the street and get you some orange sherbet.
What side are you on, Andre?
Side. I am on nobody's side. Because nobody is on